Hey guys, it's Jim Halterman from TV Guide Magazine and TV Insider. I'm here with Robert Newman, who has taken over the role of Ashland on The Young and the Restless.
I was aware of the clinic before I got sick. In fact, because of a strange set of circumstances, I was one of their benefactors.
Wow. How did that happen?
A few years ago, I had a colleague who was very ill. He was at the clinic being treated. The results were fantastic, but the clinic itself was going through some kind of a financial crisis. They were in jeopardy of losing their funding.
Sure.
I saw it as a matter of life and death. So I wrote a check.
But first, it's just so good to see you on our TVs again.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice to be on TVs again.
Some of the weeks that we're looking at for the magazine piece is when Victor is really coming at him because he's pretty sure he's been faking this illness. How is Ashland taking that from his father-in-law? Is he ready for this fight, or is he feeling intimidated with Victor? And how is he handling this?
I don't think I'd say. I mean, Robert is intimidated to work with Eric.
Right. I mean the characters. Yeah.
Fantastically gracious and wonderful for me. I mean, he's really been so fantastic in these first few weeks for me. I think he sees Victor very much as an equal. In fact, I think Victor might be the only person in this canvas that he sees as an equal. Just a little bit under that might be Victoria, but in a different sense. But I think this idea of sort of the ruthless businessman, Victor himself has a very checkered past, I understand, and has done some questionable things in his journey. I personally feel, and my personal theory is that anyone who makes it to that multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar level probably has done some questionable ethical gymnastics to get there. And I think that, I feel like the tables could be completely the opposite. And Victor could be the one doing this. And, Victor right now is really defending his daughter as much as his company. I get that. So I feel like it's not an intimidation. It's more like a really fast moving speed chess game that these two are playing, where Ashland is just trying to stay one move ahead. But Victor's like right there on everything. So, and I will tell you again, more about Robert and Eric, that one particular scene we did last week was just a master's class on his part of this kind of work. It was just absolutely, I have tremendous respect for him as an actor. And, I was a big Rat Patrol fan, so there's that. So,
have you grilled him about some of that yet? Because that's the kind of stuff you want to ask him about.
We did, and we talked very extensively. I asked him, how he began here, and he's got an amazing story. He really does, and it was just really great to sit and talk to him about, and then just to talk to him about the craft itself.
Going back to talking about Ashland and Victor, it sounds a lot like, from your perspective or Ashland's perspective, they are cut from the same cloth, because like you said, Victor has also done some duplicitous things in his past. Is that something where you think that these guys could eventually maybe become friends or at least allies instead of butting heads at this point?
Partners, maybe. I don't mean that in the sense of personal relationship partners. I mean, in terms of business partners, possibly. I mean, I would think there would also be something to explore there. Is like, I don't know if you can have two top dogs. There's usually only one, and so I don't know if they could ever kind of coexist on that equal level. I think that was where they were intending to go.
Yeah.
But there's enough about Ashland's journey to get where he is now. I'm trying to be careful of how I phrase these things because I don't want to get into what's coming. But there's enough that the audience already knows about Ashland that makes his journey to get these companies merged and to get control makes them questionable, ethically questionable things. So I think that there's plenty of ammunition on Victor's part to, come after him. And again, you get into defending your daughter and protecting your daughter. I can totally relate to that as Robert. I would do anything to protect my daughter. And I think that's part of what's playing for Victor as well.
Yeah. And speaking of Victoria, she's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because it's her husband and her father.
Oh yeah,
kind of butting heads. How is she handling that, and how is that affecting Ashland's relationship with her?
Well, she's walking a fine line.
Yeah.
So I feel like Ashland is really walking this fine line, threading this needle of figuring out how to protect his part of the business, but also I personally think he's petrified of losing her. And that's driving a lot of where he's going forward now.
What would you say is Ashland's Achilles heel, if he has one?
Her. I think he will.
Okay.
I think he could sacrifice things to protect his relationship with her.
Make sure to click subscribe underneath this video and watch The Young and the Restless weekdays on CBS.